All right, President Meyer.
Here.
Vice President Stewart is excused. Treasurer McIntyre.
I'm here. Good evening.
Trustee Frazier.
Here.
Trustee Mayberry.
Here.
Trustee Regan-Mauer.
Here.
And I am here, Kim Campbell-Voitel.
All right, that brings us to the adoption of our agenda.
Yes, I bring motion 113 that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Support.
All right, I have a motion properly presented by Secretary Campbell-Voitel, supported by Treasurer McIntyre. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that brings us to our consent resolutions.
All right. Excuse me. I bring motion 114 that the board accept the consent agenda items for approval as follows. 5A, minutes of the May 26th, 2026 special call Board of Ed meeting. 5B, minutes of the May 26th, 2026 closed session meeting of the Board of Ed. 5C1, 5C is overnight and out-of-state field trip request. 1, NHS varsity dance team training in Columbus, Ohio from June 11th through 13th, 2026. 2, social studies trip to Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. What a cool trip. July 11th through the 22nd, 2028. 3, NHS Pom Pom summer camp trip to Alma, Michigan from June 17th through the 21st, 2026. 4, NHS cheerleading camp in Columbus, Ohio from July 14th through 17th, 2026. 5, NHS girls basketball in Allendale, Michigan from June 19th through 20th, 2026. 6, NHS girls basketball camp in Holland, Michigan from July 6th through 8th, 2026. 5C7, NHS boys volleyball state finals in Battle Creek, Michigan from June 5 through 6, 2026. 8, Hillside Middle School 7th grade Cedar Point trip on October 2nd, 2026. 5D, 26-27 Novi Cooperative Agreement. 5E, the 2026-27 Livonia Career Tech Education Cooperative Agreement. 5F, 2026-27 Special Ed Livonia Transition Program Cooperative Agreement. 5G, 2026-27 Wayne Westland Cooperative Agreement. 5H, 2026-27 Auditor Recommendations of Plant Moran. 5I, 2026-27 Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators dues totaling $2,342.62. 5J, Elementary STEAM Curricular Materials Trial Purchase of Codable totaling $21,000. 5K, Microsoft licensing subscription from CDWG totaling $102,890.45. 5L, Northville High School wired clock purchase through Sound Planning totaling $189,500.66. 5M, Parent Square renewal through Wayne Resaw Memorandum of Understanding from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. 5N, bill warrants totaling $3,646,461.69.
Support.
All right, I have a motion properly presented by Secretary Campbell-Voitel, supported by Trustee Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I just want to give there's a lot going on here, a lot of busy summer ahead of us for a lot of students. That's great to see. I just wanted to shout out the cooperative agreements with the other districts, Wayne Westland, Livonia, Novi, just as an opportunity to give our students access to a variety of types of programming, virtual programming, career and tech, vocational. So it's wonderful that we can work with other districts to provide educational opportunities for our students to meet all their educational needs. So just wanted to give that a shout out really quickly. Thank you for reading all of that.
My pleasure. All right, I think we're on to communications. I am reporting that we have had 3 communications, one from MPSBOE at northvilleschools.org, communication from Wayne Risa, board highlights for May 2026, and the third one is the monthly report from Northville Youth Network for May 2026.
All right, and that brings us to you, Dr. Weber.
Yes. So I'm going to ask a couple things before we get started here. So there's a piece of black tape there on the floor. And so when folks come up to speak, if we could please have you stand right there. The reason why is for people who can't be here tonight. I know, for instance, Melissa Stewart is at the National Rowing Competition. Very proud mom there tonight. But for those who may be watching this around the galaxy, we want to make sure that they get to see and hear. And looking out in the crowd today and seeing a crowd is wonderful. Seeing some of these faces. Now that I've been here 4 years and have gotten to know you, seeing you teach or doing the work that you do is really amazing. And I'm going to make some comments on that in the block so I can model for you. But we're going to start first with our 25 years of service presentations. And who we have on this list are Jennifer Ramirez-Cam, Melanie Oberkite, Brenda Neighbor, and Nancy Smith. If you could all come up, please. If you're here. All right. So you guys have been here 25 years. Isn't that crazy? Come on over here. Yeah, like there's the block. So we'll do 2 and then 2 right there. So I was remiss, and this is a good time to start because as we're sitting in this room and I'm standing up here, last year we had one of our very own retired from Silver Springs, who unfortunately is no longer with us on the face of this earth. And when I looked out and saw her husband and son there, the impact of that night meant a ton to me. So I'm just going to ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And what makes celebrations like this, in my mind, really important in life is that none of us are here forever. And the moment we have is the moment. And the people that I'm standing are standing to the right of me, and people out here in the crowd tonight, especially the retirees, are doing something that I think is a beautiful thing, meaning you're walking out of this space into the next chapter of your life on your terms and doing what you would like to do. But right now, what I'm going to do is pass the mic over and have these good folks introduce themselves. And I'm going to ask you, oh, you're going to be okay, don't worry. You guys teach kids, stop it. Every day, 180 days. Let's go back to one of your earliest memories of being an educator. What was it?
Okay, so Melanie Oberkite. I've been at the high school for 25 years. I'm a science teacher. I teach honors chemistry and IB chemistry. Memorable, little kind of weird, maybe dark, but my second week teaching, 9 a.m. in the morning, Twin Towers fell. I think that's probably for all of us where we're at. So that was sort of a baptism by fire on classroom management and dealing with emotions. So, yeah.
That was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was
our first year.
That was our what, second,
That was our
second,
first year.
third week of teaching. This fall was that, the classroom.
My name is Nancy Smith. I'm currently at the high school, but I started out as the technology facilitator for the high school for 2 years. Then I was there for 10 years, moved to the middle school for 7 years, and I'm back at the high school. So, I guess my most memorable, I guess I started the STEM program at Hillside back in the day, and for 2 weeks every summer I was in training. It was something unforgettable, I'm not gonna lie. So, yes, way different, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. My name is Brenda Neighbor, and I'm a parapro. I've been a parapro here I subbed when I first got here, so I was there subbing on 9/11. So, and I've been in 5 or 6 buildings throughout the district. I've been in Hillside now for like 12 years. So, thank you.
I'm Jennifer Mears-Cam. I teach 7th grade science. I got hired in teaching 7th grade science, and I've been there ever since. When I first hired in, I was teaching with an incredible science teacher, Norm Hannawald. He taught for 40 years at Meads Mill, taught me everything I knew. But I walked in, as a new teacher, and the classroom I inherited, I'm not exaggerating, had probably 40 animals, everything from rats to gerbils, pikes and cichlids and ball pythons, a rabbit, a guinea pig. Yes, I didn't know what I was doing. I started combining. I'm like, this is too many cages. So I started combining animals, and then they would fight. I'm like, okay, I can't don't put hamsters together. It was wild. Everything you can imagine. And I had to figure it out really quick. Lots of late nights, but it was wonderful. I'm very nostalgic lately, thinking back to those days. I loved it. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is why it's always important just to take a few minutes to talk to people and listen to them, because like coming in your room, seeing you teach, when you walked in, how many animals? Did they have names? That is crazy. And then the Twin Towers memories are really powerful. I think many, like, I'm not going to say all, those of us like us remember that day without a doubt. And then seeing the change in Northville as well over the years from a community and the growth and so on, being in different buildings, or being rooted in where you are. I just want to say thank you very, very much. And I hope you guys have a great night. How about a round of applause for them, please? And before we start, Mr. Tabor, you're on deck. And then if you have a program, just to make it, he's warming up. And you'll see the tape when you get here. But just a quick statement, and I made it earlier. The fact that our retirees, I was in Lansing today, and I was with legislators, some that were friendly to public education, some that were unfriendly to public education. I can assure you I was not friendly to those that were unfriendly to public education. And I had some words with them about many things. But one of the things I said to one of them in particular, who wanted to carry the conversation outside of the hall and into the hallway, was the fact that talking about numbers and inefficiency and all of these things, not once did I hear her speak about the very human nature of what our people do. Whether you're at Fog Street and providing an environment for our kids that is not only safe, but clean and good, and always the smile on your face, even if Banchero calls you at 2 a.m. because something needs to be done. Maybe you're not smiling then, but when we come back in and school works, that's great. From our paraprofessionals to our administrative assistants, always setting a tone for our kids and our staff that is good and right. And for our teachers, who many of you went through No Child Left Behind, and that whole vapid experiment on our worth is based on a score or a metric. Yes, we're proud of what we do here, but that's not it. What I have the privilege of seeing every day are teachers and educators loving our kids. Sometimes when, let's be honest, it can be hard to show that love because they're not really giving you that back. And I wish the world could see it. The first person coming up with Mr. Tabor is, come on down, let's do it. So before I give you the mic, Richard, Richard Tabor, if you don't know Richard, he is our NEA president and a good man. But I'm going to say the first time the thing where I really appreciated what you did, and you know the story. So I teach every month in the district, and I taught for you. And I left there and I'm like, how does she do this 5 days a week with the noise? Like, it's impossible. I told her I couldn't find the parachute. So if you're a PE teacher, you guys ever do the parachute when you were kids? Like, all right. So you reached out to me via email one day and said, hey, we're doing the parachute today, come by. And you didn't know it, but it was a day that wasn't a great day for me. And we did that parachute, we made the big mushroom, and then went under the parachute. And that memory that you gave me was a core memory that brought me back, that I can guarantee you is a core memory your kids are gonna have. So thank you for doing that, which Ms. Myers and Perry Public Schools did for me. for them. And I know you're a big Wings and Lions fan and everything fan. We're going to miss the heck out of you. And there you go, Richard.
Don't be stealing my stuff. All right, well, it's definitely my honor to introduce those of you who don't know Jen Eisenberg. How do you summarize a 31-year teaching career in just a few words? If you look at the official stat sheet, the numbers are absolutely staggering. Over 5,700 days, most of which were spent in shorts. 43,000 hours of energy, movement, and shoe tying. 2.6 million minutes shaping young lives, and close to 10,000 students that walk through your gym door. Well, those numbers are Hall of Fame worthy. They only scratch the surface. A stat sheet can only tell you how long Jen has been in the game, but it can't tell you how much heart she puts into it. Those millions of minutes only begin to tell the story of who Jennifer Eisenberg truly is. They say that to be a physical education teacher, you need high tolerance for noise, as Dr. Weber noticed, an infinite supply of patience, and a whistle that never breaks. But to do the job for 31 years and to do it the same way with the energy, passion, and heart that you put into it takes a very special individual. And tonight, we're here to celebrate exactly that. 31 years, think about that. That's over 3 decades of fitness tests, unlaced sneakers, explaining the rules to the same game for the millionth time. But if you ask any student who has walked through those gym doors, they won't just talk about the push-ups or the hill jog. They'll talk about how Miss Eisenberg made them feel seen. You have an incredible and innate ability to connect with students. You know who needs an extra boost, who needs a high five, and who just needs someone to listen to. You haven't just been teaching physical education. You've been teaching confidence, resilience, and teamwork. And of course, we can't talk about your connection to kids without mentioning the absolute highlight of every school year. In October, while the rest of us are trying to get through the period, Jen turns into a master of special effects. I'm, of course, referring to Haunted Jim. Haunted Jim is legendary, especially at Ammerman. Fog machines, sound effects, eerie lighting, obstacles. It is a rite of passage that students look forward to every year. You put your whole heart into making it an unforgettable experience, proved by the fact that former students still talk about it years after they graduate. You've brought pure joy and magical memories to thousands of kids, and that is a legacy few can match. Now, we all know your dedication isn't just limited to Ammerman. Your loyalty is unmatched, especially when it comes to Detroit sports. Whether it's the Lions, the Tigers, the Red Wings, or the Pistons, you stuck by your teams through thick and thin. And let's be honest, if you can be a Detroit sports fan over the last couple of decades, surviving 31 years of elementary school isn't really that tough. That same grit, that loyalty, the unshakable optimism that you bring to your teams is exactly what you bring to school every day. To those of us who have had the pleasure of working with you, you're so much more than just a great educator. You're the ultimate teammate. You're the colleague who always has a kind word in the morning, even if it's to let somebody know that there might be a dead bird impaled in the grill of their car. And the friend who will back us up no matter what. You've listened to our venting sessions, and you've been the anchor for our entire school community. Your friendship is a gift that all of us will cherish. Eisenberg, thank you for the laughs, the loyalty, spooky October memories, and the 31 years of unwavering dedication to Northville. You've left an indelible mark to this district, and we are all better off because we've gotten to be a part of your team. For me personally, not everyone gets to see all the different sides of you. I've been fortunate enough not only to be a trusted colleague, but a grateful parent and a deeply loyal friend. No matter which hat she's wearing, her warmth and dedication never wavers. You're going to be missed more than words can say. We can't thank you enough for everything you've given to this community. You don't have Yep.
Miss Bugar, you ready to come on down? And Miss Bugar has a graduation to lead tomorrow, which is just a fantastic piece. Yay. I love those shirts. They're amazing. Right, that black right there.
Excellent. I can't wait to be on the TV. Elizabeth, thanks for standing here with me. All right. So I do have the privilege of to tell you a little bit, actually a lot about, we called her coach, Elizabeth Adams. So I'll start with, there are so many really interesting things that are about Coach or Elizabeth up on the screen. She has skills and talents that are deeply missed already. She retired in December, and we had difficulty replacing her. So I challenged myself before we came here tonight to see, would I know the things that she was missing, her memories, and the things that she's enjoying? And I did pretty good. I got 3 of them. So, I won't read all of the wonderful things that she is missing, but what I will say is the things that I will tell you about are part of our school's memories. Anyone that knows Coach or Elizabeth they know that she's competitive. If you join any game or challenge with Elizabeth or Liz, she's winning. Work hard, play hard, and you know the rest. Billie Jean King said that champions keep playing until they get it right. But when it comes to kids, Coach wasn't looking to win, but rather kept playing until our kids got it right. So she wasn't only a PE teacher, but an adapted PE teacher. So for kids that have difficulty moving, it takes a special brain, and this one is MacGyver. Every year that I worked with Coach, her creativity to create something new so that her students could participate amazed me. She quickly assessed what students' needs to adjust, to put the parts in, use her glue gun, whether it's PVC or a ramp or a Velcro ball or a leaf blower. It took her really very little time to analyze the situation and adapt it. Coach was always putting something together to help kids engage in life. Coach sent me pictures and videos every year when I couldn't be at her favorite thing, which is one of her best memories, Special Olympics. Every kid who was at Special Olympics felt like a champion. And I know that it meant a lot to the kids, but staying connected to your kids that are there when you can't be out of the building and at the event meant the world to me. It's an incredible feeling as a leader, know that I matter, even though I wasn't there with them. So thanks, Coach. Even when I wasn't there, I got to share. Every year, despite the snowstorm and the closing that we always had while they were up at Special Olympics, she was there helping, and I was there hand by hand, just helping students achieve. Billie Jean King also said, sports teaches you character. It teaches you to play by the rules, and it teaches you to know that how it feels to win. It teaches you about life. Elizabeth Adams definitely knows this. She has a great character, and she's taught our students to play by the rules, and she taught every student a little bit about life. I want to tell a story that is really near and dear to my heart, and it is because our students have lots of medical challenges in addition to all of the great things that they do. We do lose students across some years, and on one of those years, we were at a funeral together, and when we got to that funeral, I noticed something that I brought back and shared a tear and also a bit of joy with. Every year when our students play games, they all get an award, a medal, a celebration. And that's special for every single kid. Every point counts, every laughter counts, every effort is cheered, and kids get kudos. So again, every kid feels like a champion. And so when I was at that funeral, on the wall with all of the memories and the special things that the family celebrated was every single medal that student got at the end of the year basketball game. And if that doesn't give you chills, it should, because that is how one person can connect with another, and that's what we do as educators. So as I stood there amongst those pictures, I felt sheer joy, and I know that that child did too. So isn't that powerful? We won't ever have Coach again, except if she subs at school. But we do have her legacy, which is really the memories and the special things that she brought. Thank you, and congratulations, Elizabeth.
One of my favorite memories is like, RJ, come here, you got to see this. I'm like, what do you got? It's a box and it's like cardboard and there's like something loud and it's, no, come here, watch this. And the kid hits the button and the leaf blower that then you made your husband, like, I think use insulation or something in the box to deaden the sound. So the kid hits the button, ball goes over the net. And those are those moments I was talking about, but the world can't see that I wish they could. So thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Koski, come on down. Oh, David.
Where am I supposed? Where's that X? Is that X right here? Is that me right there?
Yep.
All right. First of all, on script. What colleagues say about Dave Stulak? Dave has a solid work ethic and has been a consistent part of the fabric of MPS NHS over the past decade. In everything he does, it is obvious Dave cares about kids and does whatever's needed to help students, staff, and administration. He's a team player that defines loyalty and dedication. Now, on a more personal basis, a personal passion of Dave's is the Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Columbus, for those that don't know, gives a lot of service to our community. And their second part of their motto is service to all. And that's what Dave does, service to all. Every day, Dave takes care of our flag. It's a small act, but a gesture that has a huge impact. But also, going back to Dave's passion, the Knights of Columbus, the pillars of the Knights of Columbus are first, charity. The 4 pillars of the Knights of Columbus, Dave represents in his work. That first pillar, charity, Dave is genuinely cares for others, and it's shown through his service leadership. Unity, Dave is loyal and dedicated to our buildings, our district, and certainly our staffs. Fraternity, service and care to those around him are most important to Dave. Patriotism, shown by what he does with the flag every day, but also his passion for his country, his passion for his school and community are purposeful and done with hard work. So Dave, thank you for your years of dedication and service leadership to Northville Public Schools and Northville High School. Congratulations.
So whenever, so I'm typically in, I don't know, I've slowed down a little bit, but 3 to 5 buildings a day can sometimes be my number. So I'm running into the high school and so on. You always greeted me so kindly. I think the first couple of times you shook me down a couple of times because you know who I was, but that's okay. I wanted that. That was really good. And thank you for being a kind man and having the kindness and love, as Tony said perfectly, and he is great at these things. It's that dedication and what you have in your heart. And I know you brought, I think, your wife here tonight as well. And I remember how many times that you and I would have small conversations and you would talk about her. And so he would, seriously, didn't pay me for that. So thank you. Have a good day. Yep.
It's really easy to talk about this gentleman right here. Mr. Matt Meinert, I'm going to give him another name today, Mr. Mustang, okay? So on the screen, I think it says 26 years. Really add 13 to that year, and it shows that. 39 years in Northville Public Schools. That is truly Mr. Mustang. And I think at the bottom of the slide right now, wearing Northville gear 24/7. I think he's the only guy in the district that has more Northville gear than I do. So, anyway, first of all, I asked Matt's colleagues and students to give some words and phrases about him. I could talk about Matt forever. I really could. But I think more importantly and more impactful and more powerful is what his colleagues and the students say about him. So I'm going to go over a number of those right now. And the nice thing about this is most of these, you don't know if it's coming from a student or a colleague. And that's really how it should be. So first of all, funny and cool as a cucumber, Mr. Minor. And there's some common themes here too. Calm and reliable. Calming, anchoring presence in the math department. Professional, welcoming, someone you can always rely on. Witty. Supportive with 3 explanation points behind it. Mr. Minard understands that relationships come before learning. Matt is thoughtful and dependable. We're going to miss him so much in our department. Anchored, a quiet but full of substance. He has a strong character and great insight, but isn't someone who will talk just to hear himself or to fill a void. So when he does offer something, you know it because he is passionate about it and he believes in it, and it's helpful for him to share. He has been a very supportive colleague and an asset to our department and will surely be missed. Leader, 6 explanation points behind that one. Mr. Minard has an enthusiasm for his content, but cares about us first. Anchored, he's always reliable, willing to give advice by looking at the big picture. Dependable and affable. Matt has always been just super approachable, always in a good mood and happy to help with any questions that people have for him. Always positive. No drama, never gossiping. Even when he is stressed for something or he's venting, he is always able to laugh about it. Definitely a positive presence in our department that will be missed. Genuine, steady, and kind-hearted. Mr. Minard knows his math stuff and makes it easy for us to get to know math even when it is truly difficult. Matt has always been a calm, knowledgeable presence that anyone can rely on and go for assistance. He cares deeply about NHS, his students, and his colleagues. He will be deeply missed. Matt is my professional ally. He has been my trusted partner and sounding board for too many years to count. He is dependable, supportive, empathetic, and a true confidant. Kind, with 3 smiley emoji faces behind it. In my note to end with, Matt's hard work ethic and expertise is truly appreciated, and his dedication to our students and loyalty to our school is certainly apparent in everything he does. He is Mr. Mustang. Matt understands that relationships must come before deep learning, and that is evident by the safe and positive learning environment he provides in his classroom every day for his students. Matt's enthusiasm for his subject matter and passion for teaching students is contagious. He quietly does so many things for students inside and outside the classroom walls. Matt, thank you for being an incredible teacher, a role model for your colleagues, a leader by example, and an advocate for all students. Matt, NHS is a better place because of who you are, what you do, and how you did it. And one of our favorite people in the world, and one of your coaching colleagues, former AD, he always said, once a Mustang, always a Mustang, and you can wear that Enville stuff anytime. Congratulations, Matt.
So, going to football games and being in the high school, I think what Tony just said, what a perfect encapsulation of just calm and care. There's no way you have 39 years on the old miles on the car. Do you really? That's amazing. I went through the school. You look great. You look great. So, but I want to thank you for giving, like, one of the, Brian Smolsky and I were talking, in a core memory. So I've done this 34 years. In that win over Catholic Central, it was one of my first experiences in the Northville community to see how a community reacted. We had so many people in the stadium that night. And the coolest part was the kids and seeing them. But one thing I noticed about you, and when I'm watching and listening to coaches and stuff on the sideline, those kids locked in on you. they knew you were real. You didn't have to holler. You didn't have to say anything sharp. It was, this is what I need you to do. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. And I think Amani. Yep, Miss Badillo. All right. Welcome to this. There it is. Thank you.
So Kathy is not here today, so I think, do we go to the next slide? Okay. It is truly an honor to recognize Tanya Murphy tonight as we celebrate her retirement. Tanya, I have to admit, when I first started at Silver Springs, it didn't take long to realize that you are not just part of the school. You are truly at the heart of it. In the short time I've known you, it's already hard to imagine Silver Springs without you. If there's one thing everyone agrees on, it's that Tanya is the queen of celebrations and truly the ultimate party planner. And honestly, that may be the one reason we get along so well with many more. Tanya has a gift for recognizing life's special moments, both big and small, and bringing people together. She makes sure celebrations are remembered, milestones are honored, and staff always feel appreciated. She doesn't miss a beat. Behind the scenes, she keeps everything running smoothly with incredible organization, attention to detail, and a deep knowledge of how our school works. If you need something, Tanya either has the answer immediately or she'll track it down before you even finish your sentence. She anticipates the needs of everyone around her and makes their work easier, and she's a budgeting genius. Of course, we can't talk about Tanya without mentioning one of her trademarks, her wigs. Wigs on wigs on wigs, and somehow she looks amazing every time. In fact, many of our Silver Spring students truly believed she had a brand new hairstyle every time. After graduating from Albion College, Tanya began her career with Ford Motor Company, where she met her husband, Mike. Together, they raised their two children, Kira and Mikey, both of whom attended Silver Springs. Through both her family and her work, Tanya has been part of the community for 17 years. Tanya, you've built relationships that will last a lifetime. You've created memories that will live on in your journals and in all of us. And while we know you're excited for what lies ahead, more time with family, traveling, and cheering on the Lions in Germany, we also know that a piece of Silver Springs will always go with you. Thank you for the many years of dedication to Silver Springs. Your contributions have made a lasting impact on our school community. We wish you all the best in this next chapter. Please know you will always be a Silver Springs Eagle. Congratulations and best wishes on your well-deserved retirement, and keep lighting that snow candle for us next winter. So much.
Wait, Amani, where are you going? It's okay, you can hang out. So I haven't really told many people this, so I'm just going to say it. So the woman to my right, have you ever seen the rain? Have you ever seen? The reason I'm saying that is because Tanya and I have taken guitar lessons at Northville Guitar Lessons every week for 4 years. She is a much better guitar player than I am. Piano, I think, as well. I know mom and dad are here. Mom took credit for that piece of it. But one thing that's been a joy besides learning music beside you is just having the ability to converse about the work that both of us are passionate about. And you were Silver Springs to the core. The kids went there, PTSA, working there. I mean, that truly is a home away from home. And I'm sure you're going to be missed, but I do like the thing you said about the kids wondering, does she get a different haircut every day? Because the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that's something. And then the next day it was completely different. But thank you so much for being such a pivotal part of our community public school district. And go to Germany and stay there for a while. Have fun. Thanks. Bye. And Miss Terry, come on down. Oh, Alice, I left you some art. I'm glad you didn't throw it away. We'll talk later about that.
I feel so blessed to be here as we celebrate someone who has made an incredible impact on Ridgewood and, more importantly, on generations of students. This is Alice. As a second-year principal, I consider myself especially lucky that I had the chance to get to know Alice during this chapter of her career. Even in this short time, it has been abundantly clear why she is so deeply respected and admired by her colleagues and so loved by her students. When people talk about Alice, certain words come up again and again: kind, thoughtful, generous, patient. And not just in small ways. Alice lives those qualities every single day. She is the kind of person who goes out of her way to make others feel seen, supported, and valued. Whether it's through a listening ear, a thoughtful gesture, or one of her famous charcuterie boards or breakfast themes, Alice has a way of turning ordinary moments into something truly special. In the classroom, Alice is that teacher, the one that every student hopes to have. She treats her students like they are her own, creating a space where they feel safe, challenged, and deeply cared for. She is dedicated and invested in their growth, and her patience and understanding have helped shape so many young lives. Students don't just learn in her classroom, they thrive. And thanks to her amazing photography skills, those joyful and meaningful moments have been beautifully captured and preserved. Alice also has a gift for connection. She builds lasting relationships, not only with her students, but with their families and with all of us. She is a colleague who shares her wisdom freely, always ready for advice, ideas, and her encouragement. She is supportive during tough times, fun to talk to in the good times, and unwavering in her dedication to this profession. Simply put, Alice has brought heart and love into our building. She has made Ridgewood a better place for students, for staff, and for everyone lucky enough to have crossed her path. Alice, as you step into this next chapter, we are so excited for you. May your days be filled with your photography, capturing the beauty of the world the way that you always have, and with your summer book clubs, exploring new stories and adventures and instilling that love of reading for all of our littles. Please remember, our door is always open. We will be waiting for your smiling face and for your creative Friday treats. Congratulations.
Thank you. There you go. What are you going to say? Nice, thanks. Fond memory is I was teaching next to you one day, and you came over because you heard it, maybe it was getting a little bit loud, and you're like, if you need some pro tips, I've got a lot of them, and I think you need them. So I took them. So thank you. And if your ears were ever burning around the district, there was a person that served here who described you as the nicest person in the world. I can't say that. They're not here, so it's hard. But when I stopped by to see you the other day, I'm grateful now that I know you're a photographer and artist that you didn't laugh at what I left you. I made a picture of it on a paper plate for her and wrote her a little note because she was out of there. But thank you so much for everything, and go take lots of good pictures. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's truly an honor to stand here today and celebrate Nancy. As a second-year principal, I had the privilege of getting to know many incredible educators, but getting to know Nancy has been an absolute joy. From the moment you meet her, you feel it. Nancy has a heart of gold. She gives her time so freely, always for the betterment of others, and always without expecting anything in return. She doesn't just teach students, she takes care of everyone, and that's something truly special. Nancy is a leader in every sense of the word, not always with a title, but with her actions,
her consistency, and her unwavering commitment to the students, staff, and entire Ridgewood community. When something amazing happens at school, there's a running joke that goes, "Nancy probably did that." And honestly, most of the time, it's true. She has worn more hats than we can count. Yes, she's been an outstanding PE teacher, one who somehow recreates the gym and keeps things fresh, fun, and accessible for every child every single year. But she's also been so much more. A mentor, a culture builder, a fundraiser, an organizer, a problem solver, a sunshine spreader, and even the one making sure the fridge gets cleaned out and the lounge stays right. Nancy has raised tens of thousands of dollars for the American Heart Association, helped build programs like the Student Run Earth Club, which I still cannot pronounce the acronym correctly, and the Sunshade Space. She's led the Culture Club, she's organized staff events like the Easter Egg Hunt, ordered those beloved Wednesday salads, and somehow still found time to make every single student feel seen, included, and excited to participate. And through it all, she has done it with a smile, that bright, cheerful, contagious energy that makes every day just a little bit brighter. She makes work fun, she makes people feel valued, and she makes our school a place where people want to be. In fact, I needed an icebreaker one day and I said, "Hey, Nancy, you want to do it?" And it was Olympic time. So she was like, "Yeah, let's do some staff Olympics." We had so much fun. Her colleagues describe her as creative, thoughtful, kind, and endlessly positive. Someone who goes above and beyond, someone who brings laughter, who connects with everyone, and who truly embodies what it means to serve a school community. Nancy, your impact is immeasurable. You have shaped many lives, so many students, supported countless colleagues, and built a culture that will last long beyond your time here. Quite honestly, your absence will leave a Nancy-sized hole, but your legacy will continue to lift us up. As you head into this next chapter, it is finally your turn. Time for relaxation, for adventure, for your flip-flops, for enjoying life with your family and your puppy. But please know this, the door is always open. Whether it's for Friday treats, Easter egg hunts, field day, organizing staff Olympic Games, or just bringing your smile back to the hallways, you will always be a Ridgewood Rocket. Thank you for bringing the fun, laughter, heart, and magic to all of us. You will be deeply missed.
All right. So, you know what you wrote up there? I saw it last week. It's okay. I think as we talked, you are ready. But when the Young Fives kids came in to your classroom, and I mean, 33 years on, you were like in year one again. This was just what, 5 days ago? And the kids came in and you were so excited to see them and locked in, and you were saying, "These kids are great. I'm so glad we have the Young Fives program. They've grown so much this year," and seeing that joy around. I'm glad you're leaving a little bit sad because that means you still love what you do. So much love to you and good luck out there. Yeah, be well. Bye. Mr. Jones.
Congratulations.
Thank you and congratulations. Those glasses.
Okay. Jane. Now, there's going to be some complications later because I have two retirees and they're both named Jane. So luckily they are spelled different and they are very different people. So I've got a couple of things that I do want to share. Figure out where my phone went. A couple of comments from staff when I asked for intel on Jane Tuitt. A couple of things that staff wanted to share. For Jane Tuitt, she helped me so much when I was moved to 8th grade ELA and had a brand new baby at home. I don't know what I would have done without her help and expertise. She truly saved me that year. I will never forget her kindness. And it's fine if you say this is from Megan or don't. I'm fine either way. So from Megan Mug. From our other Jane. We will be bonded forever because of our Irish Catholic roots, growing up in Detroit, and always have, wait, sorry, wrong person. I knew I was going to do it. Talk on it. I'm going to get there. No. One thing I will majorly miss about having Jane as my classroom neighbor is the energy she brings to the hallway in between classes.
Often, you can find Jane dancing along to the passing time music and greeting each student with a smile as they enter her room, usually encouraging the kids to dance along too. That is also one of my favorite memories. I feel like when you ask staff for theirs, you're always going to run into that barrier of they took mine. I think that every time I walk down the D hall and I kind of peek down the B to see what's going on, I always see a little bit of a shimmy going on from Jane, probably better than my shimmy. Jane makes her own clothing. And Jane is an excellent teacher and a wonderful person. It has been a pleasure working with her. A couple of other things that I want to share, and you can maybe tell from the picture. Jane is a little quirky, and I love quirky. I'm always looking for the right amount of quirk for middle school people. It takes a special kind of person to surround yourself with 1,000 middle school kids every single day. You know you've got an interesting job that when you tell people what you do for a living, they sometimes recoil, sometimes say, sorry, okay? And Jane fits right in. This is the exact kind of person that I look for when I hire new teachers. I was thinking about a recent interview that we did, and I had a parent who sat in on the interview as we were hiring a teacher, and inevitably, like Jane, you look for somebody who's really smart, you look for somebody who's a really good teacher, and you look for somebody who connects and fits. And I had a parent who said, sometimes I do this work in my other line of work, and we always ask that question, is this the kind of person you want to be on a plane with for 12 hours? And Jane is that kind of person. You can probably tell maybe from the photo, although there was a different example that we have seen, that her colleagues in the halls, maybe this, I could be wrong, hopefully I'm not. Sometimes they will do dress like a student for Halloween. Am I right on this one or no? Yeah, okay. There was a different example where everybody had like the sideways ponytails and just like the right kind of cup. That was one of my favorite Jane memories. And then two of my other favorite Jane memories. I knew Jane was retiring this year. And the thing that I appreciated about Jane was she kept learning. Even in her last year, after 32 years in the saddle at that point, still engaged in some of our building thinking classrooms work, still willing to host teachers and anybody who wanted to come into her classroom and see the innovation, still willing to lean into things like AI, that after 32 years with, one more and you're out the door, is it really time to learn something new? And I think if you know Jane Tuitt, you know that it's always time to learn something new. So with that part, leading into a lesson, you've heard me tell this a million times, but I love it. You guys have not heard it. You people out there have not heard it. And I'm going to look to Dr. Weber because you might need it. Jane and I had a hallway conversation not long ago. And this will be one of those things that not only has she taught thousands of kids in her career, but she managed to teach her principal a lesson, maybe her superintendent a lesson. We were having a conversation. She very kindly and transparently asked me to revisit a building decision, and I listened. And I said, no, Jane, I don't think that's something I'm going to do. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do that. And she said, no, don't apologize. She said, I work with young women, and I have this group that I mentor, and we just had this conversation that when you make a difficult decision, you don't apologize at the end. You just say, thank you for understanding. And I have used that so many times, maybe once this week. A lot of times when you're in a position of leadership, whether as a teacher or a principal or superintendent, you have to say no, and you don't need to apologize. So thank you for all the lessons that you have taught our kids. Thank you for the lesson that you have taught me, and I will continue to tell that story to anybody who will listen. Congratulations.
Can we have the other Jane come up?
Other Jane, there we go.
Come on up.
Did I stand on the tape?
Before.
I stood on the tape.
Yep. And yes, we do have two Janes up here, but there's something I want to share with both of you because you're a huge part of a story that I got to hear Friday. And you're not so sure sometimes in my gig when a parent comes up and says they want to tell you something about a school. You're like, oh, okay, let's go. And this mom said, I just need to say that for 3 years, my daughter is at Hillside and she's leaving. And it has been a really difficult period of life for her. And she said that the Hillside team and the teachers and the counselors and the administration helped make what was a really difficult 3 years an exceptional 3 years as a mom for a daughter that was hurting. And yeah, Bill, the reason that I think we both love middle school, no offense to anyone else, it's where I started, is we're not right. Like, we will jump in and do and be, but we love it. And the two of you, I just want you to know and to hear that, is when that parent approached me, I am certain both of you were involved in helping her come through 3 very, very difficult years of her life. So thank you both. I just took the opportunity because there's 2 Janes. Thanks.
Jane.
Thank you. All right. So I've got a longer version, and I know you heard this one. We did our staff retirement party, so this is a little bit of repeat for our retirees, but for family and friends and people on the intergalactic interwebs, this is the first time that you've heard it, and you should. So I'm going to skim back to Jane Hart. We will be bonded forever because of our Irish Catholic roots, growing up in Detroit and always having lots of fun together over the years at Hillside. I can always count on Hart to be in our teacher dances for our pep rallies and to participate in all of the fun and silly physical activities for our PBIS celebrations. We had staff basketball games, and Jane was always one of the star players on the staff team. Remember that. She would crack us up going after the 8th graders on the court. She always kept us in stitches. Same thing from Megan Monk. Regarding Jane Hart. Oh wait, no, that transitioned into a different one. Sorry, that's the short version of my longer one. Jane, if you're forming a basketball or a volleyball staff team, you want Jane on it. She will play to win. An excellent counselor who always shares practical advice with students. She really works on having the students take ownership for their actions. And she will stop whatever she is doing to help a colleague in distress. All right, and the longer form one, because we had our building end of year party and kind of celebration, and a member of her department could not make it, but she wanted to make sure that this was included. So today, we get to celebrate someone who has made a lasting impact on countless students, families, and colleagues. Not because she sought recognition, but because she simply showed up every day and did what needed to be done. Jane Hart has always had a gift for understanding people. Whether she was working as a special educator or a counselor, she has the ability to know exactly what a student needed in the moment. This is my favorite part. Sometimes that meant compassion, patience, and a listening ear. And sometimes it meant a reality check, a little old school wisdom, and maybe even a well-timed knock it off. Jane understood something that can't be taught in a college class. Every child is different. Some need a hug, some need accountability, and most need both. Jane had a remarkable ability to find that balance. She's always been the kind of person who goes beyond the job description. If a student needed clothes, she'd find them. If a family was struggling, she'd find a way to help. And if a student wasn't showing up to school, Jane wasn't above letting them know she might just show up at their front door herself. Her message was always clear. You matter, and I'm not giving up on you. Long before she became a counselor, Jane was finding creative ways to meet the needs of her students in special education. She saw strengths where others saw challenges, and she helped students believe in themselves. The fact that she still keeps in touch with some of those students speaks volumes about the relationships she built. Students don't forget people who truly care about them. As a colleague, Jane has always been just as special. She is practical, dependable, and refreshingly genuine. She listens without judgment. She cares deeply. And she never needed to be the loudest person in the room, but somehow her laughter always filled it. Working alongside Jane has made difficult days easier and good days even better. One of the things I admire most about Jane is that she never worked for applause. She wasn't interested in accolades or attention. She quietly did her job. The impact she made wasn't measured in awards. It was measured in students who felt seen, families who felt supported, and colleagues who felt valued. Jane, your career has been built on compassion, common sense, humor, and a fierce commitment to doing what's right for kids. You have left Hillside better than you found it, and all of us are better for having worked with you. As you begin this next chapter, we hope your days are filled with all the things you love: dancing, laughter, sunny days on the lake, time with the people who matter most, and every sporty adventure you can squeeze into retirement. Thank you for the lives you've touched, the laughs you've shared, and the example you've set for all of us. Congratulations. You earned every minute of this retirement, and we couldn't be happier for you. A couple of my little quick notes at the end, because this person said it better than I would. I will say that when you work in a collaborative space and you share a kitchen, sometimes those things begin to stack up. And Jane, I could always rely on to be one of the people who was doing the dishes, even though they weren't hers, even though they've been sitting there for a month and they were a little gross. Jane would finally just have enough and roll up her sleeves and take care of business. Our other memory, and Dr. Weber, you'll remember this one, as well, maybe some of you. Not so long ago, we got a call at 10:47, when lunch begins at 10:50, that the phone rang. Somebody said, "There's a kid in your school with a gun." Click. And when you've got about 3 minutes to make really difficult decisions, you call Jane Hart. And part of leadership sometimes is maybe having to send people into harm's way. And that was Jane. She said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I need you to get all the counselors, get out in the hallways and take care of the kids." And she was gone. And try as I might with Dr. Weber there, trying to get out of that office, to get out into the hallways, to take care of the kids, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get past that corner right there. But I knew that those kids were in good hands because Jane was there. That is something else that they don't teach in schools: cool under fire. And I can't imagine a more firesome event to have to deal with than something like that. And then my last memory happened today. You might have heard a couple of themes throughout here that Jane is competitive, to say the least. She will put herself in harm's way, quite literally, whether that's out in the hallways or on the court. And sure enough, because of the rain today and just the gift from the middle school gods, why on earth would we allow our kids to go outside for the last recess when we could be trapped inside for indoor recess, which is just awful. But sure enough, we did it. We had indoor recess. We were in the gym and the basketballs were flying. And who should appear but Jane Hart, who on her last day, I said, "Jane, if you tear out your knee, I'm going to leave you in here in the dark. Do not get up there doing layups. Stop it." And sure enough, playing basketball with the kids, doing layups, and I don't see anything on you, so I think your knees have survived. So thank you for everything that you've given to our kids, to Hillside, and to me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't take our knee out.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Lambden. There he is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Who's first? I know we have two. Oh, Robin. Now, as any good middle schooler, I am wildly prepared and didn't write anything. You said middle schooler because that's... But Robin did ask me to keep it short, but I don't know if I can do that because Robin's classroom really is the epitome of an amazing classroom. She is, it is hard. Has anybody ever been in a band room with sixth graders starting to play music? Like, just raise your hand if you've been there. That is a really wild experience. You walk in and it's, I'm 50 kids in a classroom who are trying, and lots of tooting and lots of squeaking, and it is controlled chaos. And Robin is a master at the ability to be able to take that chaos and make something beautiful. And we had a really good opportunity to see the kind of the growth of that process about, was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, where she had a combined concert for all of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and a surprise concert that was put on by a former student come in and
play for her, and to see the growth of 6th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade to develop from squeaks and toots to absolute beautiful music is amazing. And that is who Robin Taylor is. She's an amazing teacher who honestly is my respite. I'm going to really miss having her here, because if you really need a space to kind of get away and see the growth that students can do over time, it's in her classroom. If you ever looking for me at Meads Mill and you can't find me, I know where I would have been, and it was in Robin's class, because it really is the most respite place that you can have, even with the squeaks and toots, because it really is relaxing to know that they are in great hands, or they were in great hands, and we're going to really miss you. So I really wish you the best. And all of her colleagues are going to miss her wildly. That was nothing but the comment of what was said. So I know you're looking forward to traveling, and I wish you the best.
So I loved seeing you hover over near the jazz band. Were any of those kids yours? Who?
Bo and Adam and Billy.
So when you see a teacher never stops teaching and never stops having a connection to your kids. So when you were watching them or going up and talking to them, I knew it. I knew it. And how many kids do you think you've had over 30 years? A lot. Let's just say a lot. But that gift of music is a language, as you know, and it's something that's universal and it's global. And I'm sure to see a few of your students celebrating everyone in this room there tonight made you feel really darn good. So thank you very much for giving what you've done and given to our kids. Yep, be well. Thank you. Yep.
Hey, Julia, Julia, and I've missed you. Julia actually left us in January. So she is, I think, been celebrating her son's wedding, which was last weekend? A week and a half ago, and her daughter was just recently engaged. So I know that she has been celebrating a lot at home with her family. Juliet was one of our parapros, really the consummate professional when it comes to being a parapro. She was the one you could lean on to ask to do anything at any time. If there was a teacher that might be running late or had to leave early or needed any type of help with any students, she was there. She was the absolute person that we could rely on, and that's really hard to replace, the flexibility. And then she ran our test support classroom, which really was, with test support, students are going there because they need help to be successful, and the grace that you would give the kids to be able to support them through that process was amazing. So we really miss having you there. I know Jenny and Danielle and Lindsay are tremendously missing you, and they have sent their best. So I hope you have fun at the rest of the weddings soon, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thanks, Will. So being a parapro in a middle school, I'm gonna check. You're okay? All right, you're good. Got it. So if you're not familiar with the work of parapros and what you all do, typically working with individual students who need help with regulation and just executive functioning in general, being a middle school kid. And so inside somewhere there has to be somebody who really remembers what it's like to be that kid. And thank you for giving us the years you did and the kids that really needed you quietly to help them fly straight when they were trying to fly crooked. So thank you very much. Thank you. Steve Manchero. Hey. Unbelievable.
Well, these guys kind of drew the short straw with me giving their retirement speech. I'm not the orator that all the principals came before me were, but You know, the operations department in a school district, we're kind of a different breed. We don't get to see that impact on the students, hour by hour, minute by minute. But I know both Larry and Tom took great pride in the impact they made in the educational environment for our students. Tom's 25 years. He's seen a lot of changes here in Northville. He was here before Ridgewood was built, a lot of additions at Winchester and Silver Springs, the addition at the high school. So he's dedicated most of his professional career to this district. And I just can't say enough about these guys, both Larry and Tom. Again, I think Dr. Weber might have mentioned it. There's 2 a.m. phone calls. Larry's out 3 a.m. plowing snow with the rest of our crew on a lot of days. Sometimes it can feel like a thankless job, but I know everyone in our district really appreciates all the time and effort, because it's not an easy job at times. We're working under stressful conditions because we're trying to provide the best environment we can for our children. Tom is literally the guy that's kept the lights on for 25 years in our district. And Larry, we have 1.3 million square feet of buildings, and there's always something breaking. And constantly calling Larry to help us out, try to get things back up and running. So again, I can't say enough about these guys, the dedication they've shown to our district, and all the kind and wonderful things you provided for me when I was new, because I'm just a young pup here in the district compared to you guys. So again, Tom, Larry, thank you for everything you've done for the district, and enjoy your retirement.
Please, and grab that.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks. So finishing with you two tonight is great in so many ways. So I grew up in a skilled trades family, and going to Fog Street, or you guys putting up with some of my dumb questions about things that you're like, it's kind of simple, but we'll explain it to you. Thank you for that. And thank you for giving what you've done for our community for as many years as you have, and more importantly, completely behind the scenes, BTS for short. When things work, people don't even think about it. When they break, they think about it. So for both of you, may things not break in your life for a long time, and may people not need you for those things so you can do you. But thank you both sincerely. Give me a hug it out. Thank you. Thank you. You got it. You got it. All right.
Congratulations.
And we do, if you have the program, we have a host of other retirees who weren't able to make it tonight, or folks celebrating their 25th year. But I'm going to ask a favor right now of the team that I'm privileged to serve beside at the table right here in front of me, and the folks I'm privileged to work for to the right of me. If you guys could stand up. Thank you. And if we could just turn to the room and please applaud our retirees in 25 years. It's got to be surreal walking out of the building tonight, but I encourage you to do so because we have a lot more of a board meeting left. And I'll say thank you very much. And President Meyer, if I could please ask for a 5-minute break, just so folks, if they want to get a picture or whatnot, could, and exit.
Sure.
Thank you so much. We'll be back at 7:55. Meyer, because she had kind of an important job to do before I asked for dismissal.
Yes, we didn't actually, none of those people have actually retired. They left a little bit early because we did not vote that, we didn't vote that we don't know how this vote's going to go. I mean, we haven't taken it yet, so they were really risking it, but they didn't know. They didn't know. So I would like to bring forward motion 115 that the board approve the retirement resolutions honoring retiring staff members for their years of service to the children, families, and staff of Northville Public Schools.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion brought forward by myself, supported by trustee Reagan Maurer, excuse me. We need a roll call vote.
All right. Meyer,
Yes.
Stewart is absent. McIntyre,
Yes.
Campbell Vital, yes. Frazier,
Yes.
Mabry,
Yes.
Reagan Maurer.
Yes.
All right, well, I'd like to, before we clap it out, I'd like to see if any fellow board members want to make any comments regarding the presentation and our now retirees.
Well, I think I was going to say gobsmacked, surprised at the longevity that we have represented here tonight and the commitment to the district. It's an amazing accrual of years of service to our kids and just thinking about the change in the whole profession of education over those 3 decades that many people have been here and shared with us, and the adaptability and the professionalism, and as things have been redefined and new horizons put in front of people, and they stuck with us and took care of our kids and navigated through all of that history. So I am just amazed and so deeply respectful for the people that joined us tonight for this celebration. So thank you.
I want to underscore that too, that, my family moved to Northville 13 years ago, and I was thinking about when we walked into Ridgewood Elementary, the door to your right when you walk into the school is the gym, right? And Mrs. Roberts has created such a beautiful experience for so many kids. I think back to reindeer games and, the little kids getting to watch the big kids running the reindeer games. And then when you're in 5th grade, you get that chance to show up in the early morning to help her set it up. And, same. I really appreciate all of the years of service to our community, and I see just all the fabric and how many gifts people have given to our community. Today at work, we were talking about grief and the flip side of that being joy. And so, I know there were tears, right? I think many of us felt sad, right? Saying goodbye to, not goodbye, but, retirement is a little bit of a goodbye, right? We won't see them every day. They won't be seen every day here. But also seeing the joy of so many kids and those collegial connections. And that is what makes a community public school so special. When we've been around as a district for so long and so many educators who've committed their lives to Northville is pretty spectacular. So thanking them for all their years of service, and hope they will also come back.
I think it's especially important as well that we got to acknowledge our hall monitors from the high school and our operations staff, again, who are behind the scenes, making sure everything runs smoothly. Any Hamilton fans out there? One of my favorite quotes from one of the songs in Hamilton is, "What is a legacy? It's planting a seed in a garden you never get to see." And I think that's just so wonderful to think about all of the things that our educators have done, the years upon years that people have been here. Matt Meinard in particular, going from a student all the way through, and then 25 years of service here. That's just a wonderful legacy and such a cool opportunity to, wish these people well, and then in a couple minutes bring in our new hires and our new staff just to kind of see that all come full circle. So it's a fun night.
Can I say one last special acknowledgement also for Miss Janke, who created the story walk around the back of Ridgewood? If anybody has ever been there to see that, it's such a cool installment, and just the love of reading that gets instilled for young kids through educators like her are awesome.
I'll just add the the activity in the gym with the parachute, RJ. I just got that picture of my granddaughter under the parachute with her friends and today from that teacher. So even in her last day, she was sending out all of that
Yeah, and the privilege I have in the role that I have is getting to know folks and see them in their native environment, which is educating or helping and being helpful. And I think the notion of a community public school district, when you join as an employee at any level in any way, is also making a tacit commitment to what I think is really truly good about our country. And that notion of community. We all came here from different places, unless you're a Native American. We believed in this crazy experiment 250 years ago that created our nation. You talk about Hamilton. And each one of these people tells that story and enacts that story and respects that story in very different ways. And it's why I know each of you defend public education the way you do, because it's not about an institution, it's about the people in that institution. And what we got to see tonight, and for all those who are leaving, are people who are deeply committed to a simple belief that the world can be just a little bit better if they put their shoulder into it, and each of them did. Whether it's a parachute, whether it's making sure the lights are turned on, whether it's a parapro in a quiet moment. So thank you for acknowledging that those memories are still created, and so excited to see the people that we are soon to hire, as well as talking about the direction for our district and a strategic plan as we go forward. So thank you all for acknowledging some really good people tonight.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, we had graduation. And graduation, as a board member, I feel very spoiled. It's one of my favorite events all year. It's wonderful to send off those students. For me, tonight's a little bit harder. It's bittersweet to send off these wonderful people who have dedicated their lives to public education in a variety of roles. And I really want to, emphasize the wonderful things that my board colleagues have already highlighted. I'm hoping for the best for them, and I hope they enjoy their retirement. It's definitely well deserved. But it's hard to watch them walk out the door. And like you said, we're a destination district. A lot of families move here because of the schools, and these people have all played a very important role in it. And I also think that through their work, they've helped us attract these wonderful candidates that we're going to put forward tonight, so that their legacy continues, so that people want to continue to work here. I was talking to one of the retirees who said when she got the job here, she got the brass ring and she wanted to hold on to it, and she never let it go, and she was here for her entire career. And we hope that the future candidates we are about to hire later tonight feel the same way. So congratulations to all our retirees, and we cannot thank you enough for your dedication to public education here in Northville.
Yeah, for sure.
And that brings us to public comment. Any cards? Any public comment? Okay. All right, well, that brings us to our strategic planning adoption.
Oh,
Right.
that's lovely. Yes, it is my great honor to bring motion 116, that the board adopt the 2026-2031 strategic plan, including the district mission, vision, value statement, and goal statements, as will be presented.
Support.
Okay, so I have a motion brought forward by Secretary Campbell Vitale, supported by Trustee Maurer. Should we kick it back to, I know it's kind
Yeah,
of
the
loud.
rain is really loud,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
very loud.
Christy.
So we have Christy Kahn here, Emily Polanski. And Christy, if it's easier for you to sit at the table, or if you'd like to present on the block there, you can. It's your choice. But thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm delighted to be here and happy to walk you through the presentation we have this evening. Some of these slides are going to look familiar because we'll do a nice little recap of where we've been, the work that we've done, and then where you're headed in the future should you choose to adopt what we are presenting for the strategic plan. So just a quick timeline. It's been about an 8-month process. We started in November when you decided to move forward with strategic planning with MASB. or there was a presentation. You approved the process in December. And then in January through March, we did those data collection and input sessions. We had our retreat in April, the implementation workshop with the staff, and then this is MASB's STEC presentation. So I know we've had a couple extra steps in there where at the committee of the whole meeting, you were able to have a preview of the draft mission, vision, values, and goal statements. We made some adjustments, and then I'm here this evening for the final adoption. So just as a reminder, during the input sessions, I'll just talk louder as the rain gets louder. You let me know if you can't hear me.
No, I think Eugene's going to just crank up the volume.
Okay.
You just got to be on it.
We provided an opportunity for input. We talked a lot about how to get the word out to folks in the community. We wanted interested parties to have ample opportunity. So there was an online survey. We had multiple, I believe it was 11 in-person sessions where we collected data and asked some very important questions about the direction of the district. We had 222 responses in that process. And then when we had our planning team retreat on April 11th, we took that feedback into consideration as well as the data that we had used from comparison districts. And as I think all of you were able to be there, which was great, it was a full 8-hour day. And we went over what's the state of education for Northville, for the state, for the nation at large. We talked about current and planned initiatives, and we drafted mission, vision, belief, or value statements. We made the determination to call them value statements. And really came out of that day with some good work to move forward into the implementation meeting. This slide just shows the folks who were able to participate on that retreat day, which was 29 people. I think there was a really nice cross-section of board staff at all levels. We had a student who was able to participate, did a great job, in community members. So I think out of the retreat, we had drafts of the mission, vision, and value statements. And here are not the drafts that came out of those meetings. These are the ones that that's on the agenda for approval tonight. So there have been some adjustments. And I will just go through and read them. And these should be the ones that are also reflected in your documents at your table. So the mission of Northville Public Schools is through authentic partnerships, we create and expand opportunities for self-management, critical thinking, and the pursuit of excellence in each learner. And then the vision is all learners will be seen, heard, and valued as they discover their purpose as kind, contributing members of society. So we also looked at the value statement, or the commitment to all. Founded in belonging, focused on potential, we commit to a culture of respect and equitable access created with our students and staff. Through listening and engagement, we foster inclusion for all students across race, ethnicity, socioeconomics, abilities, and identities. We are a community rooted in relationships and trust where each student is able to thrive. So out of the retreat, I'm going to go back to that slide. We went into the implementation workshop with Dr. Weber, Ms. Polonsky, and about 10 other administrators. And we went over the retreat outcomes and made some adjustments. And then, as you know, out of that meeting, went to the committee of the whole in May for some adjustments. So these previous slides, because that is a little out of the ordinary. Normally, there's not that extra step. We also have the goal statements. So the 5 goal statements that we came up with during implementation, then you revised in the committee of the whole, are aligned curriculum, assessment, and programming to ensure all learners are equitably supported. Create a culture where staff works with students, the community, and each other to support engagement and balance for the whole child. This one is worded more accurately on your handouts, but I had to make it fit the header here. Streamline and coordinate clear and effective communication across the district in an effort to increase engagement. Prioritize personnel and leadership resources to support the learning and well-being of both students and staff. And then fund and modernize infrastructure to support best practices in teaching and learning. All right, so the next slides have a nice overview of the goal area, the strategic goal statement, and then the priority objectives that the team has decided they would be able to work on in the first year. So this evening, you're voting on mission, vision, value statement, goal statements, and these priority objectives are just so you're aware of what the team feels like they'd be able to accomplish in the first year. So I'm not going to read them verbatim to you again, unless you have questions on each of these objectives or you'd prefer me to, in the interest of brevity and the rain. So are you okay with me moving forward? I know it was in your packet ahead of time. So just to recap, I didn't mention earlier, the 5 goal statements do tie into 5 different goal areas. So the first one being academics and programs, the second one being learning, environment, and culture, the third, communications and community engagement, the fourth, personnel and leadership, and then the fifth, operations. So as previously mentioned, the motion on the table is for mission, vision, value statement, and goal statements. So I know you need to get on with that vote, but just as we wrap up, MASB recommends continuing to align this with the MyKit process. I think Ms. Polonsky's done a really good job working with the team to make sure that we're honoring the MyKit work that's been done, and the strategic plan will walk hand in hand with the MyKit plan. We encourage you to make sure your budget's aligned with the initiatives you have in the strategic plan, that you develop and maintain a calendar to making sure you have success moving forward, and have action plans. Create opportunities for involvement. You had lots of folks who have come up. I've seen a lot of familiar faces from the public at multiple events. You have interested parties and staff and students who can help you along the way with this process. So I encourage you to capture that enthusiasm as you move forward. And then schedule a 1-year renewal. That's something MASB could help you with. That's something you could lead internally, but it would be nice just for your own accountability to have that on the calendar, to know, like, okay, let's evaluate, have we met our goals? And do we want to look at what the second year looks like? So, sure. Yeah.
I thought I would just update you all because we have been working on this prior even to this year. And when I say we, I say that loosely. I'm going to say a group of teachers and administrators under have been working on the MyKip team even 2 years prior to this. And the incredible work that they did, we wanted to honor every step of the way. And you'll see that group got together on August 20th and got us started saying, hey, we've already been doing this work for 2 years. These are our initial ideas for the MyKip. And as promised, this week we met with that MyKip team one more time. And we said, all right, it's time to review our MyKip for the year, what we said we were going to do, and pull up our new potential strategic plan and line it up. And the feedback we got from our educators was wonderful. They were so grateful. We did a big crosswalk between the work that they had done over the past 2 years and the 3-page document here. And then we began action planning. How do we live into these year 1 objectives? And then the plan is, if you look just like this year, we evaluate the MyKip that is now aligned with our strategic plan every June. We look at it, we say, how are we doing? And we put that right into the MyKip system for the state. And we say, hey, how did we do? And with a group of people say, what might our next steps be? Because this is continuous improvement. So it might be that we move faster on certain things than we expect. Or it might be that we hit some hiccups along the way and we have to add steps into our plan. So that continuous improvement means that every year we have to monitor, which just like we monitor our MyKip, and because our MyKip and our strategic plan are coherent, this is one continuous improvement process that we'll be going through every single year. And our teachers felt incredibly empowered by this. And we're so grateful that their work has been honored. In fact, when they saw the words critical thinking and the conversation, when we said specifically that I'm going to make this bigger on my screen. Sorry, my eyes are getting, when they saw opportunities for self-management, critical thinking right in our mission that part right there, I think, is what really hit our teachers. They saw that their work was valued, and you heard them, not just you, the whole community did, because this message wasn't just coming out of our board. It came from a whole group of folks, and this showed up time and time again. So thank you so much for honoring that in this strategic plan.
All right, well, this has been quite an ongoing process. I mean, we've been doing this, going on forward with it for months now, so it's nice to see it come to fruition. Thank you, everyone, for all your hard work on this process to get us to this point here today. There's been working and reworking and lots of meetings and meetings about meetings, so it's exciting to be at this point, and I'm very proud and happy about where we've landed. Turn it over to see if any of my board colleagues had any comments or thoughts they wanted to share before we go forward with voting.
I just want to say I very much enjoyed the retreat. I didn't think you would be able to wrap that up in 8 hours because we had the most loquacious people in that room, but it was incredible. It was so fun and interesting, so I really appreciate that work.
I want to thank you, Christy, for the process was very thoughtful from every aspect, from including our whole community in it, whether it be parents, non-parents, our students, staff, teachers, everyone. And I love the way we honored, our past. We didn't just start from scratch. We looked at what pieces of our past still fit, and we kind of evolved from there. And I love the process that you walked us through, how you took all the feedback from your community input sessions and your 200 plus surveys, and how that kind of organically flowed into the material that we were presented at the retreat, and how that turned into the goals. And one of the cool things that I thought that came out of that was how well a lot of those goals fit into a lot of the project, like a lot of the initiatives that we were already working on or that had been discussed for the near future. And to me, it kind of showed that, like, the district and our community isn't that far apart on a lot of stuff. It was kind of, it was reassuring to see that and see how well it all fit together. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I think I echo the comments that my colleagues at the table have made, and it is a profound document, really, because its breadth reached out into all of the aspects and constituents that we have in our community, and it did come to us through a ground-up effort, and it landed on our table, really, and we, as a board, want to thank you for the opportunity for us to wrestle one last time with the language, because really the mission and the vision and the goal statements and the belief statements are really the board's product. So we had to take it in, and you gave us an opportunity to take it in, and we did wrestle with it. We queried ourselves. We asked ourselves, are we giving sufficient space, we call them big buckets, but space for the key aspects of this district that our board is responsible for, So we had to find those places, and I think we did. And I think the articulation with MyKIP strengthened our resolve and our clarity about what these goals really mean, because we knew what was going on with the building leaders and the staff and the teachers and the experts around MyKIP. We know it's rolling out. It has its own process. Thank you very much for including in the MyKIP presentations that you've made the fact that this is an ongoing improvement process, and that, it's working for improvement in a school district this large is like trying to turn the Titanic. It's incremental. It takes enormous buy-in from everybody, and it takes time to build that buy-in, and we appreciate that at the board level. And while we are also trying to be respectful of our responsibilities for making sure that you have an opportunity to come back and tell us how it's doing. Okay, so feedback loops and steps forward and progress and maybe sideways steps if that's necessary. We fully expect that. This is big work that's happening here. And I'm so glad that the people that participated in the process from across the community get a chance to appreciate that and carry that out, because it's an amazing horizon in front of us. And I am so proud of this district for having the resolve and really the courage to try to make these kind of huge improvements and forward progress for our students. That's the kind of place we want to be. That's what we think characterizes Northville and sets us, I hate to say apart, but it distinguishes us among our other peer districts, and there's lots of wonderful districts. So I'm saying more words than probably anybody wants to hear tonight, but I just wanted to have a really clear statement of respect for the process, respect for the articulation with MyKIP, and the understanding that as the board, we'll have feedback loops and updates, and we'll be able to understand how we are tracking our students' achievement, how we are going to identify gaps and address them. I mean, imagine that. Some really, resolve to find those gaps that are hidden so often underneath aggregate data. And we're going to find those gaps, and we're going to find those kids, and we're going to look at what's happening to help those kids learn successfully and to make the kinds of changes that ensure that happens in a humanistic way. I just think it's bravo. Thank you. And we look forward to the next horizon.
You're very welcome. Thank you. My last slide is just a thank you to the district. I appreciate how engaged all of you were. I've been through this process with other districts, and I think you definitely get the gold star for the highest level of board engagement and genuine interest. I know you really care and happy to provide the extra input sessions and steps so you feel comfortable knowing that this is, something you as a board can move forward with. It feels attainable. It definitely feels like in alignment with MyKIP and everything else. So I appreciate that acknowledgement, but thank you. The gratitude is mutual because you really have been a great district to work with. Emily and team's been fantastic, and Dr. Weber and Megan's been so supportive. So I just wanted to thank you all because it's been a wonderful experience for me as a facilitator as well. So.
Well, we really appreciated the opportunity to work with you from the beginning. And appreciate all the sessions that you facilitated and working with us on the retreat day. So in that spirit, we have a little something for you.
Oh, yeah. And before we go to this, it's nice to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Because when you were
Right.
speaking, that was really loud.
Hey, RJ,
Eugene, thanks for trying to crank it up, but still, that was a mighty rain.
RJ, before you jump
Yep.
in, can I make one quick comment?
Yeah, please.
Because I know you'll wrap us up and that'll be really good. One thing I wanted to really underscore is that we have a $100 million budget, right? So I really appreciate the reminder that all of this is grounded in our budget, right? That we're talking about MyKIP, we're talking about critical thinking, we're talking about emotional regulation, and we can have all these fancy words, but it doesn't mean anything unless we direct dollars to it. So I'm really glad to see the discussion around aligning curriculum, that it was, for me, having been I'm the longest tenured board member, right? So I have heard for many years in this community, why is it that kids at elementary A get a different experience in elementary B? Why is middle school A different than middle school B? And so to me, when we are talking about how do we equitably support children, it is that consistency across every school building, across every classroom, across every grade level. And so I feel like this is like the culmination of all of these threads that me and all of us have been hearing for years. And so I'm grateful for the community's trust and faith that we could take this leap to say, maybe we're not talking about we're going to have the highest achievement I mean, that is what will happen because we are committed to equitable access. So when we're focusing on potential, we're not just pushing the top kids to score great. We're saying, everybody, you have potential. I had a great conversation with a teacher tonight. I said, my kid's never going to make it to honors chemistry. And she said, how do you know that? He's 8th grade. I was like, oops. I too have been focused on his current achievement. I have no idea what he's going to do when he gets to high school and he has all these different cool opportunities. So I think this is a great culmination. So thank you for guiding us. I know we are a high intensity. We have high expectations here. And I feel like we have delivered a strong strategic plan that will lead us going forward. Grounded in a $100 million budget. It would be amazing if it was $120 million, but that will be in 2030.
So tonight, what I hope that everyone heard, and I want to read this because when you were, I think, reading it, we couldn't hear you. It's not you, it's the rain.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to read here is just the vision. And I want you to think about what you heard time and time again from employees, how they talked about how they felt or how they saw their kids. All learners will be seen, heard, and valued as they discover their purpose as kind, contributing members of society. I think that when this strategic plan is incredibly aspirational and sometimes in simplicity for people who might not know the background of everything we do, it may look simple. There have been comments from a couple in the community, well, what about metrics? Well, we have the highest return on investment of any school district in the state of Michigan. We can look at metrics and find that. Ms. Polonsky and her team will regularly report how we're doing on our academic achievement and growth. To me, that is that's just the price of admittance. Yeah. That is a very basic low bar for anyone to say, well, are you going to keep working on the core work of what we do, which is to help kids achieve? Tell me or maybe don't know too much about public education without saying that out loud, because that is the core job of any public school district or school building in the state of Michigan. And we hold ourselves incredibly accountable for that. I think of Emily's first data presentation in the fall, thinking of the satellite view and the local view and the street view and the depth that we go to, installing things that we've installed recently. And this work that you see in here is about making us increasingly, to Lisa's point, forceful for each kid. Because we can hide behind high achievement numbers and we can dance around and be proud of that. But what we all know around this table is that we still have kids that are struggling and deserve our financial resources and our time and energy resources. So I would humbly say anybody who would like to have a conversation with Emily or I around how we measure achievement or growth, you'll see plenty of that. That's there. But what I would love to have is a conversation around people who have a deep commitment, like the board that I'm privileged to serve beside does, that their kids and their staff is seen as human beings, not human doings. And I would fully believe that not only will our achievement continue to be superior in the state of Michigan, but I believe enacting a strategic plan that you all put together is actually going to help us grow even stronger, go further, provide opportunities for those that might not be seen, and hopefully also be a beacon to other school districts that you can put aspirational markers out there that also include things like kindness and joy and getting after it for kids and getting after it for each other. So I know we're an intense group, a little bit different, pushed in some different directions. But your, I think, role also as a school board president, I believe, was very helpful in understanding. You fully understood where we're going here. You saw it as aspirational and as well. And I couldn't be prouder of our community who came together on that day, the survey responses, all the questions from the board, and the attention there. And I'll just say, if anyone has a question that we'd ever take our eye off of achievement metrics, no, we won't. We never will. It's the core job of a public school district. It's what we do. Instead, I would challenge people to look at strategic plans from other districts and realize what you all have just done, which is to put some big, markers out for what you expect out of us in the future. So thank you for that.
All right, well, that should bring us to our motion. That's you.
Oh. Haven't I feel like I said so many words, I thought I had already read it.
Yes.
Okay.
Consent piece in the beginning. So
Yeah.
Yes, I did. That was really wild. All right. So this is, I did read this.
Well, I think
already.
we read it already.
Yes,
So now we just have to take the vote.
Oh,
So,
who supported it? I didn't.
Yes.
I did.
You did? Okay. So we have a motion probably presented by Dr. Campbell Voitel, supported by Trustee Maurer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, wonderful. I'd like to give a hand for all the hard work for all those months. All right. And the hits keep on going. We get to go to a new hire. Trustee Frazier.
So I would like to bring forth motion 117, that the board award a one-year probationary NASA contract to Jessica Fisher for the 2026-27 school year as presented.
Support.
Okay, so I have a motion probably presented by Trustee Frazier, supported by Secretary Campbell Voitel. Get back to you.
Yes,
Mr.
thank
Sumner.
you, President Meyer. So good evening. Yes, as Trustee Maurer alluded to earlier, we had the opportunity and honor to say,
Mr. Sumner, if I could please ask you to take the block.
Oh,
on the stage
okay,
here.
all right.
We want to make sure that both of you are seen around the world.
I thought maybe since we were presenting to the board, but we will oblige. Absolutely, absolutely. So as Trustee Maurer alluded to earlier, we got to say so long and goodbye to some very valued colleagues this evening, but we get to start by welcoming some new colleagues in this evening, and that is going to start with Miss Jessica Fisher for the Northville High School Assistant Principal position. Before I get into those details, I did just want to acknowledge Mr. Brad O'Neill, who came back and really filled in more than capably this past school year for the majority of it. And obviously Mr. Koski and the team for doing the great work they did holding things together this year. But yeah, I want to bring Miss Jessica Fisher to you this evening. As you're well aware, our administrative interview process here in Northville Public Schools is robust and thorough. In this particular case, we reviewed over 100 applicants for this open position and narrowed the field through the screening process. Colt interviews, stakeholder interviews that included staff, students, and parents, and finally an interview with Dr. Weber as the superintendent. This comprehensive process revealed that one candidate, Miss Jessica Fisher, had the full support and was fully supported by the stakeholder group and fully supported as well by Dr. Weber. Jessica Fisher is a highly experienced instructional leader with a proven track record in high school administration, teacher development, and student achievement. She currently serves as the assistant principal at Wall Lake Central, where she supervises core departments, leads professional learning, and coordinates MTSS systems and supports that support the whole child. Her prior role as assistant principal at Seminole High School in Florida included expanding equitable access to advanced coursework through data-informed leadership. Combined with her background in district-level professional development and teacher coaching, Jessica brings strong expertise in instructional improvement, collaborative leadership, and building inclusive school cultures, making her an excellent fit here at Northville High School. Jessica is thrilled to be part of Northville Public Schools and is eager to begin this new journey with our staff, students, parents, and community. And I would add, too, that I didn't have the opportunity to do the reference checks for Jessica. I believe Mrs. Peck did. But one of the things that Jessica's current principal said in Walled Lake is that she is the best assistant principal that he has worked with. So we're really excited to have Jessica join our team here in Northville Public Schools. And so in that regard, on behalf of the central office administrative team, I'd like to recommend that the Board of Education approve a one-year probationary contract for Jessica Fisher to serve as assistant principal for Northville High School for the 25-26 school year.
All right. Well, like I said, we've had a motion that's been properly presented. Is anyone all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Congratulations, glad to have you.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome to Northville.
Look good in orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not an easy color to wear.
Can't they lock the wheel?
Devin, you shouldn't wear it. Should be.
Okay, I'd like to bring forth motion 118, that the board award one-year probationary NEA teacher contracts to the following individuals for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Alexandra Borseth, Joy Hudaima, Kate Leach, and Christina Taylor.
Support. All right, I'm back to you, Mr. Sumner.
Back to me. Thanks again, President Meyer. So yes, we have 4 new teacher hires, 2 of which I believe are here with us this evening, 2 of which could not make it, but I'm happy to present them to the board this evening. First and foremost, Hillside Middle School mathematics teacher, Alex or Alexandra Borseth. Alex is actually in her current district for 8th grade graduation this evening, but she sends her regards. Alex comes to us from Farmington Public Schools, where she has taught each of her first 3 years as a middle school mathematics teacher. She's a graduate of Michigan State University with certifications in mathematics and teaching English to speakers of other languages. Alex holds her master's degree from Western Governors University in learner experience design and educational thinking. As part of our interview process, we had the opportunity to see Alex teach a lesson and engage with students, and we were able to observe her ability to connect with students right from the outset, a quality her previous principal pointed out while acknowledging, quote unquote, kids love her. In addition to those connections and relationships, Alex's interest in and work with building thinking classrooms, something Mr. Jones mentioned this evening when he was speaking about Jane, was something that stood out through our interview process, considering the increased use of BTC in our middle school math classrooms in recent years. The Hillside interview team is excited about Alex joining the Hillside team next August. And then we have 2 elementary physical education teacher recommendations this evening. Both of these are products of retirements here in district. Joy Hudaima, who couldn't be with us this evening, is no stranger to Northville Public Schools, having been employed as a beloved paraprofessional for the past 5 years. Joy has always had designs of teaching physical education, but took a slightly different path to begin her professional career by working in healthcare in a couple different areas, cardiac, fitness, and exercise. After a period of helping to raise her family, Joy decided it was time to go after that teaching itch that she always has had, and thus started while as a paraprofessional pursuing her master's degree from Concordia University for her teaching certification in physical education and health. Not only has Joy served as a paraprofessional at Moraine Elementary, but she completed her student teaching at Hillside Middle School right here in a physical education classroom. And that's not it. Joy has also been serving as our middle school rowing coach dating back to October of 2023. Everyone is enthusiastic about the potential of Joy now joining our elementary PE teacher team. And then Kate Leach, who is seated behind me here, waving. Kate is a recent 2026 graduate of Western Michigan University with a Bachelor of Science degree in K-12 physical and health education. Kate's enthusiasm, joy, and passion were characteristics that resonated with our interview committee, as I think everyone saw how those characteristics would translate to the classroom in delivering PE instruction and making connections with students. Not surprisingly, both Kate's cooperating teacher from her student teaching this past January through April, as well as the principal where Kate has been serving as a building substitute each of the past several springs when her semesters wrap up. They both raved about her positive energy and passion and the manner in which those qualities connect with students. We look forward to seeing these same characteristics in play within the PE setting here in our NPS elementaries. Kate Leach. And then last but certainly not least, Christina Taylor, seated over my right shoulder here. Christina is another product of the Parada Teacher Program through Wayne Risa. And we are recommending her for a position as an SCI teacher at Cook School here this evening. Christina recently completed her Bachelor of Arts degree in cognitive impairments from Eastern Michigan University. Having served as a paraeducator at Cook since August of 2010, Christina understands the challenges our learners at Cook encounter and recognizes how we can best approach and meet such learning needs. All things that came through very clearly in her interview. She knew she wanted to be a teacher since the age of 5. And after working at Cook as a paraeducator and being offered the opportunity to participate in the para-teacher program, again, thank you, Wayne Risa, for that, pursuing her teaching certification with designs of eventually teaching at Cook became a no-brainer. We are excited Christina elected to take this next step and look forward to the potential of her working in this new and different capacity as a Cook classroom teacher. Christina Taylor. So the recommendation this evening on behalf of the central office administrative team, we recommend that the Board of Education approve a probationary contract for the 26-27 school year for the following individuals: Alexandra Borseth, Joy Hudaima, Kate Leach, and Christine Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have a motion probably presented by Trustee Frazier, supported by Treasurer McIntyre. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, welcome. We're very excited to have you.
Those two are sisters back there, teachers.
Right. Very exciting. And so now, Dr. Kimball Boytel, I'm going to turn it back to you for instructional materials regarding world language.
All righty. I am proud to bring motion number 119, that the board approve the following world language materials beginning in the 2026-27 school year. Spanish 1 for 8th grade and NHS will move from, should I read all those? Or is somebody going to explain this?
Oh, no, she's going to be explained.
Oh, okay.
But you can go ahead and,
Yeah, take it away.
okay.
I know we talked about this at the committee of the whole, but
Yes, we did.
I can give a quick summary. And it's kind of nice because it builds on what Treasurer McIntyre was saying. When we talk about guaranteed and viable curriculum, that's something that administrators, teachers, and the community all agreed on when we were talking about world language or language acquisition. These are our Spanish, Mandarin, French, and German classes. This is something that came up. They said, hey, when we think about what our kids are experiencing 6 through 12, can we make sure that there's some sort of guarantee to the kinds of resources and opportunities they get? And when we talked about that as a group this year, that meant horizontal alignment, and that means class to class, no matter what building you're in, for example, Spanish 1, you have access to equivalent experiences, not identical, but equivalent. And their standards aligned, best practices aligned, and also vertically aligned. So when a child goes from Spanish 6 to Spanish 7 to Spanish 1, which actually could happen in 8th grade or your freshman year, and on to the different levels, that it flows and it's a nice fluid experience for kiddos. And that's what we mean when we say vertical alignment, all the way from Spanish 6 all the way up to AP or IB Spanish. And that's just one of the languages as an example. And when we did this, it took time. And I think Dr. Campbell-Whitell, you mentioned that. This is not work that happens quickly because we want to all work together in this process. So teachers met on November 4th in between for the very first time when we said, hey, how are we going to do this work together? In between that and the next meeting, we gathered data from student focus groups at Hillside, Meads Mill, and the high school. That carried all the way through till now, and I'm not going to go through all the details of those meetings, but I will say one of the first things we did was we carefully reviewed our state standards and ACTFL, which are the proficiency proficiency guidelines that our world language teachers use. And together we built for all the languages an NPS language acquisition vision. This is, hey, what should this experience look like regardless of which language you're learning? And then we use that language to help us make decisions when we said, all right, if we're going to be adopting something as a board or asking you to adopt something as a board, what is it that we're looking for? What kinds of experiences do we want for our kiddos? And what we're asking you today is for 6th grade and 7th grade to adopt Vamos and Somos as core curricular resources. And within that same curriculum resource program, High School Spanish 1, High School Spanish 2 and 3, and AP and IB Spanish have their own supplemental resources. So Somos would be for Spanish 1 and for Spanish 2 and 3 as a supplement. And then Huelas for Spanish 2 and 3 and high school AP and IB Spanish. To give you a little background on this, Vamos and Somos have been trialed by teachers for a couple of years at the middle school, but through their excitement, they've been able to share those resources with the other folks. And then when our AP and IB Spanish teacher looked at them and said, hey, this Huelos would really support our students specifically, and their exam, the idea that this could again be a fluid experience for kids as they move through, this is specifically for Spanish classes. So that's one of the things we're bringing forward today. The next thing, our French teachers said we had already adopted a textbook for French 1 and 2, and they still needed that same textbook in the series for Spanish 3. So that, I'm not going to say it correctly, but the third book right there on the screen, that's what we're asking for our French 3 students. And additionally, we had gotten some feedback from students that one of the little novels that we were using in one of our Spanish classes wasn't really meeting the needs of our students. They had shared that feedback. And so we are proposing that we adopt Esmeralda as a replacement for that one. And so those are the proposals on the table today. These were brought to us by our teachers collaboratively as part of our guaranteed and viable curriculum work, with the idea that regardless of which classroom a child is in, if they are taking, for example, Spanish 7, they would all have access to Somos as a core curricular resource. And that's an example of a guaranteed and viable curriculum.
Thank you so much. I mean, we are voting on the purchasing of materials, but I appreciate you giving us the background on all the things that went into making it so that it has come before us as part of that viable curriculum. So I appreciate the background on that, so we can understand that it's not simply just getting some materials, but ongoing conversations that have been held with staff.
Looking
throughout
at
the
data
year.
from students, or feedback from students, data from grades, and then again, looking again at the teachers who are doing that work and have been working really hard together collaboratively.
Thank you so much for all that work and the
Say
explanation.
one quick thing.
Yes,
I just think it's really important to acknowledge how great it is that we really take that teacher input and look at what they need and what they're asking for, because so many districts don't do that. And materials are given and told without a whole lot of conversation. So to know that we're hearing our teachers, listening to what they need, what they want, what they think is going to be best for our kids, I think is really important.
I also, while reading the documentation, really appreciated the cross-sectionality, for instance, with the Esmeralda, that it was run by the science teachers and said, hey, this also has scientific information. So I just thought that was amazing.
And again, our teachers did that work. They said they were trying to identify the best resource for our kiddos. They were very thoughtful in this work.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have a motion probably presented by Secretary Campbell Voitel, and I did not write down who supported it.
I think we did.
Oh, we didn't? No, you did. We never
I
did.
just-
Oh, because we
okay.
kicked it back to you. Okay. You did bring forward the motion.
So I bring forward the motion, and
So
thank
we
you
need
for the detail.
Someone support it.
I can support it.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion probably presented by Secretary Campbell Voitel, supported by Trustee Frazier. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that brings us to you, Treasurer McIntyre.
Okay, I'd like to bring forth motion 120, that the board adopt the ratifying resolution for Northville Public Schools 2026 School Building and Site Bonds Series 2 as presented.
Support.
Okay, so Mr. Kling, this is bring it to you, and I give us a little bit of background on this.
Yes, thank you, President Meyer. So as you guys know, last week, June 2nd, we had the bond sale. It was actually an awesome student event at the high school in the forum. So we had Stiefel, our bond underwriter, we had PFM, our financial advisors, we had AUK, our construction managers, TMP, our architects, and I'm leaving somebody out. Our bond counsel wasn't there, but they were there in spirit. So we had the event, we sold the 61 million. So this, for reference, this was a 2023 vote for $134 million for our bond funds. So how you could look at that is a kind of like a mortgage for us to be able to do capital improvements for all our buildings. And so the voters did a 2 series. This was the second series in that 134. So this was 61.9 million. And the students at the high school got to see it live and got to see the Bloomberg terminal up there. I know RJ was excited about that. And so the resolution in front of you is a procedural resolution so that it allows us to actually have that closing on June 25th and access those capital project funds. So the way you could look at it is kind of like a baton. So that first series got us through a lot of projects, and we need that second series to kind of continue the bond work into the future. So there we go.
All right, great, thank you. I mean, I think it's so, I love the fact that we involve the students in this. It's a great event. It's very cool.
Did anybody on the board get to attend?
No, but I saw the pictures on Facebook and it looked really cool. There were kids, like,
I got to attend last time, but I was
Seeming
not
interested.
interested.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Thank you for including the students.
Yes, I think
Like
that's,
it was well attended.
yeah.
It was a very cool event. We actually had quite a bit of students that were very interested and locked in. We had a couple students that were looking forward to summer, but I will say the majority were very interested in learning and kind of understanding that, hey, this is not like a classroom and a textbook. This is a real sale, and real buyers are investing in Northville. And it was kind of cool to kind of see that kind of light go off when they noticed that. So it was definitely a cool event.
I think I remember that you said we had some local investors, some individuals.
Yeah, so we have 2 underwriters. So we have Stiefel, which is more of like the national kind of brand, and then we have Raymond James. They have a local office here, and so we did get a couple through Raymond James. I don't know the exact number, but I know that was definitely the intention of having that split, having that local branch, was to have the bonds available to local investors.
Thank you for that.
I want to say thanks to Mr. Koski too, since you're in the room, obviously, that to invite that process into the building too, right? The high school is very busy. There's a lot going on. So thank you for making that available to students that day too.
The other thing I wanted to mention was, as we sell this second series, we've gotten to see a lot of the things that the bond has already gotten us. We had that meeting at Ammerman and got to see all the improvements there. So it makes it more exciting to see of all the great things that are yet to come.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the main projects was the STEAM edition at the high school. So the building that this was in, we're using those funds to add an addition. So it's kind of full circle. We also had AUK, our construction manager, there, not only to talk about it from their point of view, but also to talk about it from a career standpoint. So he kind of talked about, hey, how many openings in the trades are we going to have in the next couple of years? And, I can't remember the representative from AUK.
Jerry.
I don't work with him daily, but he had a great story about, hey, this, I kind of didn't think I was going to get into this, but now that I'm into this, I realize that there's a shortage, and it kind of opened maybe opened the eyes to some of the students about maybe career choices. And that was kind of neat too.
Yeah, Stiefel, PFM, AUK, and TMP all had a representative speak. It was fantastic. And we were one of the very few districts in the state of Michigan that have a AA bond rating, which for those of you in the financial sectors helps with your bond sale. We had a very strong bond sale, very successful. It was really neat to see it happen in real time and see $25 million of it being purchased at one point. by one group, like BlackRock, State Farm, and other entities. And it really, it was neat to see the folks who arranged it at Stiefel and PFM really excited about how well the bond sale itself went. So testament to really our financials and how we do that and the belief that people have in our bonds. So thank you to the board, Devin, his team, obviously. It was really wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah, exciting. Okay.
You need a roll call?
Yeah, well, I have to, you have a motion probably presented by Treasurer McIntyre, supported by Trustee Maurer. So now we need a roll call vote, yes.
Okay. Stewart is absent. McIntyre?
Yes.
Campbell Vital, yes. Frazier?
Yes.
Mabry?
Yes.
Reagan Maurer?
Yes.
And Meyer?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. All right, do we have any added agenda items? All right, that's our second opportunity for public comment. Are there any cards or comments? All right, given that, I will call this over at 8:55. Have a great evening, everybody.
Happy last day to everyone.
Oh, yes, happy last day.
K-12 students.
Yes.